Heartbreak is one thing, my ego's another. Don't you dare embarrass me. I don't actually know the song. I'm finding out.
More commercial appeal, I feel, a wider audience that still is just as likely to start liking the series. And excitingly, Penguin Random House asked me if I want to do a giveaway. So I just decided, yeah, I will. I was going to talk about these covers anyway. But if anyone wants to receive the first 3 books in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series, all you have to do is go on X, Twitter, or Threads, at me, share this video, and I will be sure to get in touch with one of you and send over the contact details for you to get the first 3 books in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. How fun. Good for me, good for DCC, good for one of you. The rest of you who don't win...
Oh, that's too bad.
And it has been officially confirmed that Rosamund Pike is going to narrate yet another book in the Wheel of Time series. Her voice is going to be brought to the show Rising. And every time this is announced that she's going to be continuing further into the Wheel of Time series, there's another wave of backlash from people who don't think that multiple renditions of an audiobook can exist. I personally do prefer Michael Kramer and Kate Redding. There's just so much talent and nostalgia there. But I'm also aware that as series age and go on, they get readapted, re-audio booked, and it's not crazy to enjoy both. Ashlyn Pike's been doing a really good job of narrating the series so far, bringing her interpretation to these characters.
This is uncomfortable for me.
Nice. It's just at this point, though, where she's kind of got to finish, right? We're this many books in. Shadow Rising, that's book 4. And so, I mean, are you going to go all the way to the end? Are we going to do the prequel?
Yeah, my fear's
I
about to
think
die.
you can get away with not doing the prequel, but at this point, I
Hey.
think she's got to finish. God, I hope they don't bring in, we're going to AI voice it and just do a Rosamund Pike AI voice for the rest of the series. I really think she's been doing a good job performing it, and I would like to continue to hear that performance, not a generation of. I don't know why I'm even talking about that. No one's talking about an AI version yet. This version is now available for pre-order, but will be released September 17th, and it's nice to see that Rosamund Pike is not only an incredibly talented actress, but also understands the nuanced differences between just acting and voice acting.
Am I
If you'd
dry?
like a great example of that, you can watch Rosamund Pike in a role and how she talks there, and then listen to one of her audiobook renditions of Watt.
I mean, yeah, I haven't added any water yet to the thing. I'm just trying to sketch it out.
Actually, let's ask the resident voice artist, Kayla, right?
What am I talking about?
I said, let's talk to our resident voice artist, because you were a professional voice artist for 10 years, or however many years, and I was like, right?
Yes.
And for a quick book update, we had one from Mark Lawrence, who tweeted out, have finished the proofread of the book that held her heart. Done the dedication, acknowledgements, and copy. Ready to start writing book 2 of my next trilogy. I have zero idea what it's about. This is the 3rd and final book in the heralded library trilogy, the series that started with the book that wouldn't burn, had a second entry of the book that broke the world, and is looking to end with the book that held her heart. I'm
No,
kind
I
of a
don't have
sucker
any
for
of
whenever
those.
series do that naming convention of 1, 2, whatever, however many they have to have a pattern to it. It's not that clever, but it's super pleasing to me on some level. I can't even place. I'm not going to say auditory or aesthetically. Just I like that pattern in my brain. Make positive chemical juice go good. I think I first noticed I loved it with the Millennium series that starts with the
eyes.
dragon tattoo, the
That's
girl
what I
with the
did.
fire, the girl with the hornet's nest, and ever since then it's just one that I enjoy. And it was great to see y'all's response to me covering some of those B-list franchises getting new entries in the last episode of Fantasy News, and I'm happy to say we have an opportunity to do it again here today, and that is because the Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver graphic novel, The Dead Shall Rise, is going to be released and is a canonical prequel to the classic action game. And just like those previous entries we were talking about, I wasn't aware of what this series was until I came across this story. And I'm immediately interested in it, not only as a story, but also just as a thing that's existed in the fantasy space for quite some time. For those of you unaware, it has been almost 30 years since Blood Omen, the gore-spattered first installment of the Legacy of Kain video game franchise, was released on the PlayStation 1. While it did have 3 sequels, there's been no new entry for the franchise since 2003. And if this prequel does well, there are apparently plans to just continue the story in a series of graphic novels. And I'm not sure what the chances of that succeeding are. I definitely want to make fans of Legacy of Kain aware of it, so I'll cover it here, which I have done, and tell me what this is about. I'm interested in it, and I don't even know what the story is. I just like
Not
things
really.
existing in the fantasy
Sure,
space.
hurry up.
And apparently this graphic novel is also going to contain
Yeah.
some unreleased art for an MMORPG that was planned for the series, but unfortunately died. And the cover of the graphic novel has art done by Dave Raposa. And the last bit of hardcore quickie book news, Lev Grossman has also taken to Twitter to announce that The Bright Sword could have a future on screen. Deadline Hollywood officially announced that Bright Sword is currently in early stages to be developed as a series by Lionsgate TV. And I actually really admire the fact that Lev Grossman, the author attached to this, had the restraint to be like, this could happen. Projects fall apart. He's like, it's a maybe. I'm not gonna do the whole like big announcement, try and hype everyone. He's like, tamper down. Possibly. For those of you unaware, Lev Grossman has had an adaptation done before for the Magician series, books that I quite enjoyed, but a series I haven't checked out yet, which I actually have like pretty near up on my to be watched. I want to get through the new Jake Gyllenhaal show on Apple TV, and then I want to get through, no, I think it's just right after that, so neat. Now it is time to move away from the fantasy book space and enter the dangerous waters of media as a whole. And that is because we have gotten our first teaser trailer for the upcoming release, Terminator Zero. Possibly in the top 10 most milked franchises of the modern era, Terminator Zero is going to be the franchise's first step into the animation category. And I'm actually, well, really surprised to see how positive the reaction to this has been. I was kind of holding off judgment until
Oh, it
I've
looks
seen
pretty
more,
good.
now that I have.
Terminator Zero. It looks alright.
To be the most generic way you could continue Terminator in a new medium possible. Not only just from the name, but the animation style, the lack of any kind of story we're getting so far. I mean, the small nuggets that are there seem just rote for what's to be expected in Terminator. It just seemed like minimal effort to me. The taglines throughout it, the shots provided, there's nothing that seems like revolutionary to the story presented. There's no hook, right? Like that's what a teaser is supposed to be able to successfully do in some way. Promise a hook to be enjoyed.
Nothing. I have nothing. Done nothing.
And it seems to be doing what a lot of mediocre additions into franchises that should be dead trying to do, just build hype based entirely off of like aesthetics and nostalgia. Even the plot synopsis that was provided in the description just seemed like a very simplistic rehashing of another John Connor-esque premise. 2022, a future war has raged
I'm
for
good.
decades between
How are
a
you?
few human survivors and an endless army of machines. 1997, the AI known as Skynet gained self-awareness and began its war against humanity. Caught between the future and this past is a soldier sent back in
Where
time
is-
to change the fate of humanity.
Give me a minute.
She arrives in 1997 to protect a scientist named Malcolm Lee, who works to launch a new AI system designed to compete with Skynet's impending attack on humanity. As Malcolm navigates the moral complexities of his creation, he is hunted by an unrelenting assassin from the future, which forever alters the fate of his 3 children. I've never heard anything like that before.
Couldn't find
But
it.
hey, that's just my opinion, and if you are wanting to catch this show, it will be released on
That's
Netflix,
good.
August 29th. But
This is the only one I
transitioning to
could
a franchise
find.
that I'm just surprised to see having its first outing still going. We have gotten a trailer released for Dragon Prince Season 6, which I haven't tuned into since I think Season 3, and wow! It seems like things have taken
Thank
a
you.
darker turn. I feel like someone who's it seems like things have taken a darker turn. I feel like someone who's left a party came back and the house is on fire, and I really want to catch up on Dragon Prince now. It at least seems like the story has been evolving, characters developing in fairly aggressive ways in the last few seasons, so maybe this is going to bump up and actually bump down the Lev Grossman Magicians show. It all depends on what you all say in the comments. And this release is just around the corner, hitting screens through Netflix July 26th. And boy, oh boy, we have had some major Disney news. I am purely covering this because it could possibly affect you directly. Disney has allegedly suffered a 1.1 terabyte data breach. At first, many people seemed skeptical of this as it just was announced through a post by the hacktivist group Nullbudge, who took responsibility. But
Yeah, I don't
since
go
then,
live.
some
Well,
plans
I go
for
live every
Disney's
now and
future
then.
have been leaked, including
I don't
an
think
announced second installment
I just don't
and
think
a
they're getting
Pixar
showed on the
TV.
whatever it's
Notably,
called
though,
For You
since
page
this
or
was
whatever.
announced, Nullbudge Budge's website has
Which
actually
sucks,
been
but it's fine.
down. It seems that there has been some form of retaliation. Importantly for all of us, though, Nullbudge has made note that they were able to get login information and personal details. So the reason I'm actually covering this is to just publicly say, as loudly as I can, if you have any account related to
I guess
any Disney
I don't go
platform,
live every day
I
like
would
I
take the
used
step
to,
of changing a
because
password and possibly taking extra
it's
security
tiring.
precautions on whatever credit card was linked to that account, because you never know how big this stuff actually is, and getting hit from it could happen a month from now, or it could happen years from now. It's just better to be safe than sorry. So if you have a Disney account, be careful. It really pays to be paranoid level cautious in situations like these. Real quick, I'm looking pretty and I want to show off. Obviously, these are meant for Kayla. But I stand by what I said. If my ears were pierced, I would wear them.
Can you take them out of your mouth?
But if you don't recognize them already, you should, because they've sponsored the channel before, and that's right, I'm happy to say, Holtzkern's back, baby.
Oh, who
Taking us
liked
out
the
with some
video?
of
I didn't
their
see that.
biggest hits of the year. Check out those shades. Those are freaking awesome. This summer's just noticed.
Thanks for liking. I didn't see that.
Next story, we actually had my favorite headline of the day, and that is, human race looks itself in the mirror and realizes it's now spent $5 billion watching Despicable Me movies. This is notable for a couple of reasons. The Despicable Me franchise is now the highest grossing animation franchise in theaters ever, outdoing the likes of Toy Story. I want to make extra note that this does not include things like merchandise sales or home release video crap. This is entirely when it comes to box office results. Otherwise, several Disney franchises would be just running laps around Despicable Me in terms of like gross profit. But yes, in terms of ticket sales, we all have collectively spent $5 billion on Despicable Me. And that is the biggest news of the week. Inside and outside of fantasy news. Nothing else substantial note happened in the last 7 days. Oh. Now, a post on Twitter from Culture Crave has restarted the conversation around a lost Micronauts animated series that apparently has been
What's
finished
Micronauts?
over at Hasbro for several years, and just they have refused to release it. This includes 52 episodes that have been fully animated and were locked in January of 2020. They have never said why it has not been released, and even the creator has just been quoted saying they Batgirled us. And apparently that is like the full truth of it. The creator has not even been told why this happened at all. Like, they've not been told it's a tax write-off or anything. They've essentially just been ghosted by the studio. And the creator actually said more on this back when we were in the midst of the writer's strike, because it's related to many of the issues that were being talked about then. Specifically, they said, for 3 years, I worked on a show that produced 52 episodes, all of which the studio decided never to air. What began as an exciting, wish-fulfilling moment as I'm getting hired as a staff writer turned into a situation where, despite my resume, I could not point to an example of my work anywhere. It basically became a 3-year resume gap. That experience, where it was me, a showrunner, and a bunch of freelancers to fill in the gaps, showed me the career dangers in an industry moving exclusively toward mini rooms and hollowed-out staffs, the gigification of writing, so to speak. I may not be writing professionally anymore, but my experience stays with me to this day. Writers deserve the structure for a career, not a series of gigs. Their writer's assistants deserve enough episodes in a season to merit a writing assignment. Writers deserve residuals for their work, especially as that work shifts to a model that is no longer year-round. Writers deserve to protect their livelihoods, their careers, and their work. And that's just absolutely terrifying to me. Imagine spending 3 years of your life on a project that is supposed to be a career maker, and it
That's a
ends up
Vision
just
origin story.
vanishing.
Could
And
you
you're not
imagine
even told
writing
it's a
3
tax
years
write-off.
worth of fucking
It's just
episodes?
gone.
They don't release
This is the kind of
anything,
stuff
and they don't even
where
tell you
it just
why.
completely flies in the
That's
face of the
fucked up.
narrative you see people try and paint around people who work in Hollywood. Yes, there are these insanely rich people who get just unreal benefits for the rest of their lives for being a part of a project. But those are a very small percentage.
A large number of.
Writers, actors, directors even, all kinds of positions you can think of in the Hollywood industry are still working gig to gig, and business models have shifted to exploit those
Gotta
people
dry
as
now.
much as possible. And yes, the writer's strike did a lot in terms of moving in the right direction, but there are still countless practices undercutting projects left and right, making it incredibly difficult for
Why
being
not
a
release
creative
it?
to
Like,
be a career. Which, if you would like our culture to avoid a lot of the bad writing you've seen over the last years, where writers have been overworked and underpaid,
it doesn't make any sense to me. Something released will always make more money than something that isn't released. I guess taxes were like, it can't be that good.
Long-term co-host of Fantasy News, Jackson Dickert, and his coverage of the upcoming Shrek 5.
What?
Come to this place.
Shrek 5, baby! Shrek 5 is officially in development. It's coming out
I didn't know this.
2026. Mike Myers, Eddie Murphy, and Cameron Diaz are all returning to reprise their original roles.
They are?
And while Antonio Banderas has not been confirmed at this moment, I'm confident that we have not seen the last of Pussy Boots.
What did you just say? It's Puss in Boots.
Pussy
I did
Boots
not
is
know
what I said.
this.
What?
So yeah, this is just gonna be watching paint dry until it's done.
Puss in Boots. In Boots.
That's what I said, Pussy Boots.
I can't believe.
By Walt Dorn.
I don't know who any directors are. Like, I don't know any of that. But Shrek 5? I'll say something controversial yet brave. The last Shrek wasn't very good. I watched it a lot, but it wasn't very good. And I stand by that. It's not that it was horrible, it's just... It could have been better, you know? But that's just me. Hey. Oh, you agree? Yeah, it's like... The first one was when Shrek and Fiona meet. The second one is when they go to the castle, meet the parents. Then the third one is when the parent dies, the dad dies. And the third one was good. I liked the third one. I think it was just the fourth one was completely unnecessary. So I am curious what they're gonna do. Like, I haven't seen Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, but I heard it was really good, and I saw some of the visual art and shit. I saw some of the animation. It looks very well done. I like that kind of 3D animation, like Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. I was gonna say Netflix's Pinocchio, but that's fucking stop motion. It's just very well done stop motion. I like stop motion too.
I'm here to tell you that is definitely not the case. If you're feeling less than or you're feeling like you're behind, a lot of people are running themselves into credit card debt in order to have the things that they have or to obtain certain lifestyles or to keep them. So I was on TikTok and I seen there was a viral video going on, had over 1 million views, and I seen that there
Y'all
was
got any credit card debt?
so I wanted to do a reaction to see what is going
It's
on
called
with this credit
engagement, man. This is how you get fans. You gotta ask personal questions. You don't have to tell me if you do.
Okay, so she says she's $60,000 in debt,
But
and she has a dog.
65.
Okay, I'm a dog lover. I got a dog myself.
She's
I
in
just
debt
be
because of the
noticing
dog?
People be in a lot of debt, and they be having like 7 cats and 3 dogs and like 7 children.
Ugh, I'm gonna tighten this up.
In June of 2022, we had a good
This is Miguel. I gotta edit the description. I was gonna do Peter Parker, but then like the head was looking real boxy, and I was like, Peter Parker's supposed to be Liz. This one, he was too thick, so I just made Miguel. Fun fact: I don't like Miguel.
Look a little nice, look a little new, but okay.
I'm 1,000% on Miles' side. I think Miguel's bad. I think he's a bad leader. I think he's a bad Spider-Man. And I think he's blaming a 10-year-old for his problems. I think his story's not adding up. I think he's lying to himself to cope. And I think he needs to get his ass beat. That's what I think. I can't wait. Dude, I can't wait for the trilogy box sets of the Spider-Man movies. I'm gonna buy them. I got the trilogy Kung Fu Panda. I got that. And then I have like the first 2 Transformers, the good ones. You know, the good ones. And I got Barbie. I got Barbie from Family Dollar.
My whole thing is when I
Can you believe that? It was $15.
stable jobs,
It was a
this is just
steal.
my
I just
opinion.
watched it like
I
3
don't
days
think
ago. It was
there is a
great.
thing as really
I
stable
loved it. I
jobs
had some
unless you
problems
work
with it,
for like the government.
but
So it's
overall,
harder for managers
positive
to get rid of you and
experience.
to fire you. But a
Got
regular
Lego
job,
Batman.
what's making the job
These are the
stable?
DVDs I
You've
have.
been
I
there for 30
didn't add
years,
any
and right before
context.
you're
I
about
was
to
just
retire
talking.
or something, they'll go ahead and
I gotta
fire
get more
you.
Monster
I don't
High
know why
movies.
people
I
think
should.
that these
Should I do?
jobs will be loyal to you or they really care about you because they're there to make money off of you.
We would be able to
I
squirrel
should
away
do
some money
Spider
over
Punk
time and
next.
build back up our savings again. Weeks later, unexpectedly, I was laid off from my job. And I'm the breadwinner of our household, so it did not go well. I was
Follow my
unemployed for
heart
about 7
into the
months.
fire.
I
Got
couldn't get
broken,
social media to
got
keep us afloat for
broken.
a little bit,
Down
but
by
here's
desire.
what
I
we do.
tried
We had
and
to build a
tried,
lot of
but the
stuff on our
smoke
credit
in my
card to be able
eyes
to
left me
keep
blurry.
ourselves
Blurry
afloat.
and blind.
This
I
is what I
picked
mean.
up the
No
pieces
such thing as a
of my
stable job
life.
because her job fired her. Within 2 weeks of her taking money out of
Dude,
her
I love One
savings
Punch
and
Man.
doing all these household renovations
There's
and
not a lot
things
of
of that
One
sort,
Punch Man
which
fan. There's not a lot
probably
of
didn't
One
need to
Punch Man
do.
shit on
A
Redbubble.
lot of stuff on credit card to
It's mostly a bunch of memes. There's not like any actual
So
like fan art.
anything that could go on a credit card went on a credit card.
Okay.
And that allowed my husband's income to pay for our mortgage, our car payments,
No,
our
you know,
daycare, things like that. But
sometimes you gotta go in debt to
we
live,
cut
and
back as much as we
that's
could, but
it's a hard,
there's
so it
still a
sucks.
lot of
But
expenses.
sometimes you
But
gotta do
she
what you
was a
gotta do to
breadwinner and
live.
lost a job. Girl, like, there is no such thing as a stable job. I don't care what y'all say.
We finally decided to do a debt consolidation.
This looks pretty good.
And it's about $65,000. And we're gonna try and pay it off. We did a 5-year loan plan, but we're gonna try and pay it off.
What's love got to
If I
do?
can finally get that
Got to do with this? What's love got to do? Got to do with this?
She said she got kids. She just said she was
You can tell by the way I walk, I'm a woman's man, no time to talk.
Then she said she gonna do an OnlyFans. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people they do feet pics.
Stay
Like,
alive,
it's
stay
not for me
alive,
to judge, but I'm just like, why is that the first
stay
video? That's all they got
alive.
me thinking of.
You're not
No
even
shade
sharpened.
towards anybody that do that, but it's like, why is that the first
Sam's
thing?
Club
You know what I'm saying?
sucks.
Just bake some cakes and go. I'm gonna go out in the street, sell a product or something. I don't know what's going on in today's society, but it's wild, y'all. That's it. But girl, are you concerned about your children hearing about that? Are you worried about your husband may think how this may affect your marriage? All right, OnlyFans.
I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do it. But
Oh,
that's
okay.
our goal. Our kids get out of daycare this year. We've spent $36,000 a year on daycare, so
36,000 on daycare.
I hear that. I hear that a lot. I hear daycare is really fucking expensive.
Some luxury daycare.
No.
Oh, that might be right. Daycare is high, y'all.
It's
Like,
not
people with
even.
kids, when they be talking about these daycare
It's not
prices,
even luxury. Like you can get
especially
fucking
have
shack
somebody in their
in the middle of the
family
woods. It's like
watch their kids and
56,000
stuff like good
per kid.
but
They don't do
if
no
you
deals.
some daycare costs,
Insane.
ooh, if you got more than one kid, woo.
one of them graduates this year. The other one goes to BPK, so that'll save us a little bit of money. Our hopes are that we're able to put a lot of what we were already paying for daycare towards this loan and get it paid off sooner than planned. But your girl loves to shop, so I'm gonna have to do some shit to keep myself accountable to this.
See, she likes to shop. This is probably where her problems are going to be. Usually, getting stuff you don't need to get, and you know you're in a bad situation, and you end up digging yourself more into debt, more into debt.
Is that because of the dirty water? Or is that just because this color is
I'm
ugly?
on the internet telling you what my deepest, darkest secret.
Well, we appreciate it. It's useful. It's a cute dog. Very cute dog.
Buy a puppy when you're in $60,000 of credit card debt.
Wait, did she get the puppy when she was in debt? I gotta rewind that back. No freaking way.
Buy the puppy when you're in $60,000 of credit card debt.
I don't know if she got the puppy when she was in debt or not, but yeah, puppies are expensive too. They're like broke best friends. I love my dog, but they don't help pay bills. You gotta have money for
This isn't supposed to connect.
animals. If y'all are
I gotta get back to the blue.
you gotta pay things to keep them distracted from chewing up
Chris
your
Cars
stuff in the
applesauce.
house. And you better hope that your dog is absolutely healthy, whether it's a puppy or not. Like, it can get expensive, y'all. Okay, so that was the first video that she did. There was a few things that were kind of like, okay, like, she didn't need to probably do the renovations with the house and last
Smoking eyes left me blurry. Blurry and blind, you picked up the pieces of your life. That's fine now. That's from Sing. The hedgehog sings it. Sing Forever to Dry. This is why I don't like painting.
I don't know if this is for a whole year, but she did
You wanna see my other
do
shit?
part 2.
I mean, I'm just sitting here. I got nothing else to do. Ignore that.
Talk about it. First of all, y'all are some mean motherfuckers. I'm not saying I don't deserve some level of scrutiny. I totally realize that.
If you came to the internet looking for sympathy, babe, you're in the wrong place. I drew this when I first got this book about 4 years ago. It's probably in like high school, I think. Probably more than 4. Probably several. 6, 7? Too bad. I don't know where this glittery paint came from. Look at this. Can you tell it's glittery? Can you see it? Can you see it?
Wait, didn't we just hear? Okay, see.
When I lost my job, that was completely unexpected. I've already said this, but I'm going to say it again.
This is pretty good too. It's just
CFO. That means I knew how much money was in RTL. I knew that my bonus would be funded. I was getting accolades in my job and being told I was doing a good job. So I expected to get a large bonus.
Ah, okay. She was expecting a bonus. Told
ignore that.
she's doing a good job and all these things.
This one I drew like last week. These ones past are all recent. What does this look like? What is this giving? Do you see it?
You to be as productive as possible. So a lot of times
you see it?
See it coming, but that's why I say there is no, in my opinion, what is a safe job?
What the fuck was
like
that?
A corporate job or something like that. Are you working in a factory?
I had to weed. No, not weed. I used a weed whacker to mow my grass. And now I just keep like lifting up and like a piece of thing falls off me. It scares me. But this is a comment. It was gonna be it was originally going to be, what are they called? A set, like a landscape. It was gonna be like a tree landscape. And then I was just like drawing. I was like, wow, this looks real common. Like I should just draw that. And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? So I changed it. This is Superman.
Okay, so she was essentially spending the money from her bonus before she really got it, but she was doing it in forms of getting it from her savings account. Y'all, that's dangerous. I've seen people say and do similar things. Y'all, this is what I'm talking about. These companies will lay you off right before something that benefits you is going to happen, and now you're just looking around like, dang, I was already kind of expecting
this, or I was making plans of my life.
All the time. And then when you talk to them, they'll tell you like, oh, I just got laid off out of the blue. The company knew they were going to have to pay her a bonus, which would give them incentive to say, hey, maybe it's cheaper to just get rid of her. And I'm not saying that that's right, but I'm just saying this is how a lot of businesses think, and they're not loyal to you. You're not.
I need to get like a stand for a phone. This is hurting my arm holding this shit while it dries.
See it time and time again. These are just things to be very aware of because it can happen to anybody. But to spend before you get the money, she says she made a mistake. She understands she made the mistake, and that is, yes, a big mistake to make because that money was not guaranteed. I think don't spend your money until you've met your obligation, until you have the money in hand, because a lot of times even when they give you bonuses, if you're not working for a certain amount of time, they'll ask you for the bonus back, y'all. Meet your obligations first, make sure you've locked in the bonus, and they're not going to be like, hey,
I think I'm supposed to be watching some kids.
So we need it back type of thing.
This has got dry anyways, so
she got a tummy tuck.
shit, there's a baby.
House got renovated, paid off her husband's student loans, which was great. She lost her job, got laid off, didn't get the bonus, and she got a tummy tuck.
Hey.
As far as I'm tracking,
Oh, please don't touch those. Let me move this paint water.
But the tummy tuck part threw me off. I'm a little confused why we didn't hear about the tummy tuck in the last video, and how much did the tummy tuck cost?
I had to sit 120 pounds. I was scheduled
of my life. Got my back broken down by the side.
Okay, so she was planning to get the tummy tuck with the money from the bonus, clearly. They really didn't have this money. Again, it's not financial advice, y'all. I'm just a regular person, but y'all, please stop spending this money before you actually.
Is this case already broken? Seriously?
Obligations. This is so dangerous.
Was this you? Did you break this shit while I wasn't looking?
Oh, when I get paid, I'm going to do
Sup?
this and that. Something usually comes up.
Don't talk to
notice
me.
whenever you have like a trip or something, or all these things that you wanted to do, all of a sudden, then you get laid off. You being laid off is going to affect whatever plans you got. You might not want to do that. As far as the tummy tuck money go, it seems like she had it down payment, but it don't sound like she had the
Y'all see that?
And clearly she don't have the full amount for the tummy tuck because she ended up debt on her credit card.
I gotta go.
Basic living.
Don't go in my room. Don't go in my room. Is that what you're wearing? You're coming for me? I changed my shirt and took my sweatshirt off because no one was ready to go. I can put those back on though. Is it dry yet? No. Anything fun happened while I was gone?
Expenses. She's now laid off. She's using it for daycare and all these other things and home renovations. And there's just a lot going on here. There's a lot to learn from.
What should have been my bonus meeting was a meeting me finding out I was laid off. Me being the breadwinner of our family, losing our income was financially devastating. And we did go into survival mode. I started dog sitting on Rover. I took a call center job.
I mean, some Ritz. This became a mukbang. Is it mukbang or is it mukbang?
Look, I applaud her for taking the $9 an hour at the call center. Because people are so prideful when it comes to money and needing money, and they're like, "Oh, I'm not going to do this type of job." I appreciate and respect that this lady went out and said, "Hey, I'm getting a job at this call center," even though it's not the ideal amount of money that most people would go for nowadays with the way inflation and everything is looking. So I applaud her for getting what she can get, because something is better than nothing when you're in a lot of debt. And beggars really can't be choosy.
I started teaching small businesses social media packages so I could run their social media. I started taking any sort of UGC deals that I get. That just kept us afloat.
These are so good.
That income I brought in, plus my husband's income, paid for our insurance, it paid for our kids' daycare, it paid for our car payments.
Sorry if it sounds gross.
I did not expect to be out of my job for 7 months. I got through a very long process, being told through the interview that I was going to get an offer, to find out after 3 months that they eliminated the position.
Look, again, these companies are not, they don't owe you any sort of loyalty. They can tell you one thing and do something totally different. Like, I get it sucks to be told one thing and you're expecting something else and you thought you had a chance. But look, your last company just like
I have to go somewhere and my phone's on 20%.
I would be like, look, these jobs ain't loyal. Like, if they take me, they take me. I wouldn't expect them to really have my best interest at heart because they're a company.
And then luckily I found a job 7 months later in my field, making what I was making before. But we had put all of our variable expenses on credit cards. Groceries, electric, phone bill, Netflix. We did cut out a lot of stuff out of our lives.
Oh, that's good.
But we also had been living life like we were $400,000 a year earners.
See, no, I am not a financial advisor. I am a normal, everyday person. But I think when you are not in that position, personally, why not downsize? I feel like trying to live beyond your means, which is what she's describing, when you aren't making that sort of money, is dangerous. Like, you see the lady is just running up credit card debt and she's saying we just kept living like we were making $400,000 when we're not. And she's putting it on credit. So this is, again, to show a lot of the times the stuff that y'all see and y'all just be so envious of people behind the scenes. Y'all don't know a lot of these people are in situations like this. And these are the people that y'all are walking around unbeknownst.
Was she saying we lived past tense, saying before she lost her job, that's how they lived? Or is she saying we continued living like we had that? Because they could say live like that and they were deep in debt. Stupid. But like she's like, well, we lived like we have made a lot of money because we did. Then when I lost my job, it was like
the Johnson family, like whoever it is that you just are like, oh, they're like the ideal family. Y'all don't know what these people are going through behind the scenes to live the life they live. This lady was making $9 and she's spending still like she's making $400,000 a year. The best thing you can do for you and your family is understand you're not these other people and you ain't got to go out and do all the stuff they do. Do what works well for you and your family and stay out of debt. I know this lady don't want to be in debt to these credit card companies for this large amount because she got tummy tucks and she did home renovation. All of this stuff is very cosmetic. Like everything she described besides like the child care situation, because I know that was just going to be hot. I don't think it's worth it, y'all. No shade towards her. I respect her honesty and I respect that she at least got the call center job, but there is a lot to be learned here.
We had bought both of our cars before I lost my job.
Oh.
And because we had a sense that I was going to land something soon and I was earning enough to make my car payment or our car payment, it didn't make sense for us to get rid of the cars. So I finally got myself into a job and we had debt. And
I want to know the car, like.
Mint Mobile, unlimited, premium wireless. How did you get 30-30?
With the price of just about everything going up during inflation.
Thank you, Ryan Reynolds. I appreciate
It
it.
was just the icing on the cake. Then you got two.
Anyone got Mint Mobile? I keep getting that fucking ad.
It's just a perfect storm of like some of the stuff I talk about on my channel. The car, the like living above your means, still doing all this cosmetic stuff. Like y'all, oh gosh. And I want to know what type of car it is. Was it a BMW? What y'all think it was? Y'all think it was an Audi? I don't know. But I hope she got just a humble car. Even bringing up the fact that you got this car is kind of making me like, what type of car was it, girl? Like, sometimes y'all be getting these cars and y'all don't get these cars to do nothing but sit on people and to impress other people.
Probably something expensive and something nice enough that she's like, well, there's no point in getting rid of it because we already got it. We can.
It's all coming to me like, I just think some of y'all just thought it impressed other people. I wish she didn't care at all about the cosmetic and the appearance of stuff. All of this trying to make something look nice for other people, lady, it's putting you in a lot of debt. This is a lot of debt.
instead of focusing back on rebuilding our savings, paying off the debt, we spent a lot of money. We had Disney annual passes, so we were going to Disney a lot. We took a family vacation.
What the fuck?
Have mercy. Did she?
It's almost like they're trying to kid themselves. And that's probably what she's talking about. She's like, yeah, it was really bad, and we lied to ourselves to make ourselves feel better, and that made us worse. That made it worse for us.
She went on vacation to Disney. Disney should have been out the window.
Almost, babe. I'm gone. No one's here. I don't gotta say bye.